Okay, Coach. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
If we could just ask that you open with your thoughts on a big weekend, 2 home games before you hit the road for a long road stretch.
Game week, exciting time. The kids have a different pep in their step when they come into the arena. We change what practices look like. The preseason looks different than prep season, and we're in prep season, so I think they've enjoyed that. It's, again, new stuff for everybody involved. The differences in getting ready for an opponent and just worried about ourselves. So the last couple of days we've turned our attention to Sam Houston State and Samford. With the quick turnaround, you have to be very creative in planning for 2 opponents without focusing on 2 opponents. So we've been doing that, but today we'll be strictly preparing for Sam Houston State.
What did you feel like you got from the exhibition? You get a game under your belt and then go back to the practice floor for a few days.
Usable data, evidence. We wanted to see what habits were carrying over from practice into games. Some good, some bad. Some of the good things was our pace was very good. Played at a really high tempo offensively, and we also took care of the ball. 9 turnovers against 99 shot attempts is a ratio that I think most coaches in the country could live with. We certainly can at the pace we play. And then there's some other things that didn't. Some of our defensive schemes that we've worked on in practice didn't take. They have not formed habits yet. So we had some usable data, and we took that film and we used it early part of the week to get better.
What specifically does Sam Houston present versus maybe the opponent you had first?
Yeah, this is a team that knows their coach. Brenda is one of the greatest players in the history of their school. She's got the same passion and pride for her university and her team as I have for mine, and they've been there. These are all players that know her system. They're very specific in what they do and what they're good at. So we're going to face a team that's very experienced. They know their schemes. They're veterans when it comes to that. And she's added some nice newcomers, some new pieces to the team that she had last year.
You feel like with a veteran team like that, is it harder to get them to your pace, maybe if that's not the pace they want to play?
Could be, yeah. Yeah, they may be able to control it a little bit better than a team. In our exhibition game, that was a new coach as well, so she's fighting the same battles we are. So Brenda's certainly got the experience edge on me when it comes to head coaching in Division I games. So I'm sure they're going to try to do some things to slow us down. There's not any film out there on us. We don't have film of the exhibition game, but she's smart enough to look at a box score and see, and she knows me. We know each other very well. We used to work camps together, and she knows we like to play fast. So I'm sure they'll try some things. We're worked to prepare for those things that they could possibly throw at us, but I certainly know they're going to be well prepared and have a good scheme.
What 5 do you want to throw out there first?
Don't have any idea yet still. I'm going to tell you that Mal's going to be in that group and Dev's going to be in that group. I think Kiera Williams has earned that spot as well. She's a kid who's been around, and she had a little bit of foul trouble the other night, but she was very productive in the minutes she's had. I like the spark Raven brings us off the bench. We're talking about that possibly kind of becoming her role. I think it's too early to pigeonhole anybody into anything yet. And I like the spark Taylor gives us off the bench, the difference between she and Kiera. So there's a good chance we'll probably start that same lineup with Bailey and Jalen Mason, just a steady as she goes kid that was really big for us. And, her performance in the fourth quarter was a little overshadowed by Dev's, but Jalen really played well in the fourth quarter as well, and was happy to see kids getting stronger as the game went. So good chance we'll start that same lineup, but to be honest with you, you're the first people I've said that to, so my assistant coaches don't even know that yet. Yeah.
The offseason presents its own problems, the exhibition game, but what kind of emotions are you expecting for you when you step onto the floor on Friday?
Well, I'm sure glad we got them out of the way on that exhibition game. We tried to make it feel as much like a real game as possible. There'll be a few other family members that didn't attend that first one that'll be good to see, and a few things that, just between the difference between an exhibition and a game that we know counts. It's kind of exciting to be the first game in NCAA this year. We're the first earliest tip-off that, thanks to the 10:30 a.m. tip, will be the only game going on. I think there's maybe one that tips at 11, Jerry, if I'm not wrong about that. But I'm glad we got that out of the way last week when it didn't count, because they were certainly there. I'd like to sit up here and tell you that I didn't have butterflies, but I really didn't. They were moths. I'm too old to have butterflies. I had moths, but I'm glad to get that stuff out of the way so that we can focus and make sure that the team is the emphasis and not a homecoming and things like that. I'm glad we did that exhibition game.
Scrimmages are obviously a lot different from an actual exhibition game and games in general, but what do you think of how Devin Cosper played in the exhibition game, and how can she carry that over into the regular season play?
I just wanted to play with confidence, that confidence to shoot the big shot and take it, coming down in transition with 27 seconds on the shot clock and banging a three in transition. I want her to carry that confidence in every single practice. We try to create game situations in practice repeatedly, so even though that was our first exhibition game, we've played about 10 to 12 games worth of game type scenarios in practice. But I just want her to be confident. I don't want her looking over her shoulder worrying about coming out of a game because of a shot selection or a defensive missed assignment. I want her and the rest of the team to follow suit and to be very confident. We do need to learn some shot selection stuff, which was the only thing we talked about really in film on what day would that have been? Friday or Saturday, whichever day we got back together. I can't remember. They run together. But the only thing we showed was better shots. We took some good ones where we had better ones open. So we'll continue to point that out and teach that, and that's a key to this offense. I think we can get shots. We just got to make sure they're the best shots.
Obviously, you want to teach these girls. Do you think it was good that you guys struggled in that first exhibition game leading into the season?
Yeah, I think it helps us learn what we're going to do in adverse situations. You don't ever want to hope the other team shoots the eyes out of it, but that team did. They had 8 different kids make a three in the game, and they were feeling very, very confident. I saw it coming in warm-ups. I go out very, very early, and I was watching them shoot around, and they were all talking about how they love the new Nike basketballs and how great they feel, and I kept noticing they were going in. And the last thing I said to our team is we do not want to get into a horse match with these guys. And that's kind of what it became early, and then their confidence soared. So you look back on it, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't look at the score much in the first half. I really didn't, for 2 reasons. I wasn't exactly sure where to look at it yet. New arena and new scoreboards, that was a good thing for me to learn. But I'm just not focused on the results stuff right now still. It was all process. I knew we were behind because I think we gave up a 17-4 run there right at the end. I said 15-4 when I got into halftime. I was wrong. It was 17-4, but I think it was good for us. It certainly wasn't planned, but I think because of that was what was dealt with us, it gave us some more evidence and teaching points, valuable experience.
You talked about Mason. We talked at the end about maybe getting her some more shots. Is there a more concerted effort maybe going forward to get her some shots?
Yeah, moving her around. We don't have very many set plays in right now. We're still trying to learn how to attack in transition without having to run plays. I'm not big on – I do like to have set plays so we can get certain people touches if the motion doesn't lend a few shots to a kid early in a game, and we just don't have enough of those in yet. And we're certainly going to run some of that stuff for Jalen. Some nights the ball's going to find you, and other nights it doesn't in the motion. So it's nice to have set plays to keep that balance of shot selection and shot distribution. But to me, she's a kid that can impact the game without really having to score. She got 7 rebounds for us, and she always is dishing out a few assists as well. So she doesn't have to have the ball to impact it, but for us to be good, we need to have a third and fourth threat out there on the floor scoring, especially when you get into these tough non-conference games in the league that we're in. Thanks, everybody.